Hey everybody, this is PennLive sports reporter Daniel Gallen coming to you live from Philadelphia, where we are a couple days out from big playoff matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons, and former NFL player Jon Ritchie is going to join us in a couple minutes to preview that game. And it looks like Jon is right here. Let's bring him on.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jon. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. You sound a little under the weather yourself, though. You all right?
I'm doing great. Just had to clear my throat a little bit. It's been a bit of a long day.
I had to go home from work today. I was sick. But I went to the doctor.
Hey,
Better.
it's a long day. It's a long season.
Yeah. This is the best weekend of the year, though, for watching football. So I got to shake it off and get into this. This is amazing football we're about to witness.
Yeah, win or go home. This is going to be the last weekend with the most games. All of them look really good on paper. For you, what do you want to see this weekend? Before we even get to the Eagles, just in general, what are you most looking forward to this weekend with the divisional games?
Wow. Well, what a fascinating set of matchups. You think about the way it all sort of shakes out. It's all, offensive-minded head coach versus defensive-minded head coach. Like across the board. It's, like strength versus strength. I think the game that I'm really excited for, all of them, but I can't wait what Drew Brees is able to do in Minnesota against Mike Zimmer and company. It's really going to be a great matchup. Last week the Saints did not run the ball like I thought they would. They've been pounding the rock all year with Ingram and Kamara, and they went away from it last week. And, of course, you can do that when you've got Drew Brees under center. So they just continued – the Saints continue to amaze me with their offensive balance and creativity. And the Minnesota Vikings defense is just lights out. I mean, I have no idea how this game's going to play out. I have no clue. How in the world do you move the ball on that Vikings defense when in their place? But then it's like it's the Saints. The Saints can do it. The Saints have an incredibly balanced team. So that'll be a great one. I can't wait to see Big Ben get some redemption against the Patriots game. I mean, see you in the AFC Championship again. But this Eagles game, I feel like they got to win in them. I feel like the Eagles have the whole world against them right now at home. A lot's been made of the fact that they're the first one seed to ever be a home underdog in the playoffs. No one out there thinks that they can function without Carson Wentz, except for the Eagles. That they have had some time now where Doug Peterson has been, retooling the offense. And I'm certain that he and, is the quarterback's coach, John DeFilippo, and your offensive coordinator, Frank Reich, Doug Peterson, Nick Foles sitting in a room talking about, what do you like, Nick? What do you feel good with, Nick? Let's talk about route combinations that you're confident throwing, because we can't have what we just saw for the last 5 quarters that you played in the last 2 games, which was tentative Nick Foles, who looks like all they did was say, hey, just don't mess up because you got a great defense, you got a great running game. he was way too conservative. He was way too cautious. He would not push the ball downfield. And, there's a reason that Bruce Arians says no risk it, no biscuit. If you're a quarterback, you've got to take chances, and you're going to have to make some plays. And Nick Foles has not done that recently. As a result, everyone on the outside is saying that the Eagles have no chance in this game. But they got an awesome defense, and they've got a great coach. I'm telling you, this coaching staff knows what they're doing, and they're going to make things right for Nick Foles. I think they get a huge assist from Jay Ajayi. I found it fascinating. I mean, I didn't realize that, one back has gone over 100 yards against the Falcons this year, and that was Jay Ajayi as a Dolphin. He had 130 yards against them. The Eagles have still not ridden him like the workhorse back he can be. The type of back who gets stronger and stronger as the game progresses. And I just have this feeling that they've been waiting. They've been saving him for this grand unveiling. Now in the postseason, it's time, and they've got tricks under their sleeve. They just haven't shown their hand the last couple weeks, and now we'll get to see just a massive burst of brilliant coaching and a confident quarterback who doesn't look like a backup, and the running game that I've been wishing for all year long. That's just kind of, I feel like everything's going to come together this weekend.
When you look at the game on paper, what do you think will be the best unit on the field? Eagles offense, Eagles defense, Falcons offense, Falcons defense. Which one kind of stands out to you the most?
Well, I think the Eagles defense is it's a good matchup for the Eagles D-line. It is not a good matchup for the Eagles secondary. I mean, when you got to try to stop Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu, and that's tough sledding. Julio is just a freak of nature, and they're going to push the ball to him an awful lot. But the interior of the Falcons' offensive line, yes, they've got Alex Mack, who's an all-world center, but both guards are shaky. And so when we're talking about what unit do I think has the best game, I think our D-line is the unit. You got Timmy Jernigan on one side, you got Fletcher Cox on the other side, and they're going up against two guards that are just sort of average. Watching the game against the Rams, they looked weak. They couldn't even get guys blocked with double teams. It was not a good performance, and I think the Eagles can really take advantage of that.
When you look at kind of where the Eagles are in the playoffs now, and when you kind of contrast that with what we saw in those last 2 weeks of the season, I mean, do you think any of that, especially with the offense, was trying to not show too much after they had home field wrapped up and everything?
Yeah, sure. They kept things pretty vanilla. They did a lot of the RPO stuff, the run pass option stuff, and just kind of kept it status quo. I do think that there will be a lot of new looks going into this one, especially I talked to you, Nick Foles and this staff. They've been working hand in hand now for a couple weeks, trying to figure out the new looks to unveil that will really take advantage of his strengths. But the run game, the way that these coaches have retooled and reconfigured the run game week to week to week, it's been really fascinating to watch. And they always throw new wrinkles out there. I just think that with the idea in their minds that the Eagles have to control the clock in this one. They have to keep away, from Matt Ryan and Devontae Freeman and, Tevin Coleman and Julio Jones like they did last year. The game where the Eagles beat the Falcons at the Link last season, the Eagles had over 38 minutes of clock because they ran the football. And that was with Ryan Matthews and Darren Sproles, guys that aren't even around anymore. But I think you can take a lot from that game. This is a Falcons defense that is built for speed. They're not complicated. They don't do crazy, stems before the snap. They're not throwing a bunch of looks out at you. They're going to run 3 deep, and they're going to put a safety in the box to, help stop the run. And they're not going to complicate these players' minds with a whole bunch of assignments. They just let them get out there and let it rip. Play fast, play athletically, but they're smaller. We can road grade this defense. I really believe that, and I think that the way that the staff has put together neat little wrinkles every week in the run game, with personnel, groupings, different formations, different motions and shifts, and this week you're pulling your guard, and next week you're pulling your tackle on the same play. Just they change it up just enough to prevent a defense from ever really getting a beat on what they're trying to do. And now this week you let it all fly with a bunch of new looks and a guy named Jay Ajayi who can feast on this defense because we just saw him do it. So that's going to be pretty neat.
So I just pulled up Jay Ajayi's stats. So for the most carries he's had in a game this year, 15 against the Rams. Most yards he had was 91 against the Cowboys, which he had that 71-yard run in that game.
Look at his stats. Look at his stats when he was in Miami, though. When he was in Miami, they were using him the way he's supposed to be used, where he's getting 26 carries. He's getting 23 carries. Jay Ajayi to get 20-plus carries in this game. And there are people who tell me that I'm crazy to assume that they're going to hand it to him that much, because that's just not what they do. Well, I think this is the playoffs. This is a sudden death situation. You have to win this game or it's one and done. It will make things a world easier if you just hand it to him. What are you saving him for anymore? There's all the speculation. His knee's a little gimpy, and they're just trying to keep him safe and keep him healthy. Well, not anymore, because it's the playoffs right now, and he's your best chance to win this game.
So your number one prediction for this weekend would be that he surpasses the stats he's had with the Eagles in terms of game highs.
I certainly hope so. Yeah, I think Jay Ajayi carries the ball 20-plus times. I'd love to see him get 30 touches. I mean, that would be awesome. With the run and pass combined. But that would certainly eat clock. We're going to have to – I don't know how you stop Julio Jones. I mean, it's just – we're going to be, playing a safety over the top, cheating a safety to his side, and, doing what we can, team defense working together. We're going to get great pressure, like I said, on the interior of the D-line, so it's going to be hard for Matt Ryan to step up in the pocket. He's going to have to get rid of it quickly. But, yeah, best defense in a lot of ways this week is a good, grinded-out type offense.
So what's your game prediction? What's your score? How do you think the game's going to go?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game because it sort of has to be. The last time, last year when the Falcons came here, they scored 15 points. I think that this Eagles defense, as disrespected as they've been, they have a fire lit under their butts right now, and they're going to really get after Matt Ryan. This is the best run defense in the NFL, and they haven't necessarily always played like it the last couple of weeks, so there are people questioning that. That's a proud group, and Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman are going to get the ball a lot. This Falcons team plays best when they have balance offensively. So I think we shut the run game down. I think we make them one-dimensional. I think we run the ball effectively. Control the clock for 38-plus minutes, and we end up winning this one 17-13.
Ooh, sounds like a nail-biter.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be great. And the defensive line, Fletcher Cox, Timmy Jernigan, are going to be monstrous.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. Gonna get some nice sleep the next 2 nights to get all of this past me.
Good. Yeah, you got to be right. You got to be right for this game. Everyone we need to get some positive mojo working, because no one believes that the Eagles even have a chance. So positive thinking. You got to be healthy to do that, Daniel.
Well, there you have it, everyone. He is Jon Ritchie. Listen to him on WIP. Read him at PennLive.com. And, maybe we'll be doing another one of these videos next week, previewing an NFC Championship game.
We will be, Daniel. Have faith, bud.
Have a good night, John.
All right. Take care.